Cool. So, guess what that means it's time for here, Liquid?
Is it time for you to lose? It's time for you to lose. Yay!
It's time for me to figure out where my soundboard went among my mess of windows. Here we are. It's time for the HotS debate.
True power resides in the dark side of the Force.
No. Quicker, easier, more seductive, perhaps.
This is not a matter of debate.
A debate? This has become.
I want to give a little shout out to Super Fatty and Zex in the chat there. Zex was our guest last week, too. As we said, the cheekiest Chen in NA, and I know you like that because he mentioned it on his show as well. But hey, guys, how's it going? Anyhow, we're going to be starting a segment now. If you've never heard it before, it's called the HotS debate. This is round number 7. It's an important round because Liquid is getting pretty high of himself because I believe he's won the last 2 or 3, putting him at the top of the standings. He's currently 3-1, looking for his 4th victory. And the person trying to dethrone him this week is going to be none other than myself, Daz. So the topic that we're going to be debating this week is that stealth is a healthy game mechanic in Heroes of the Storm. Sometimes we have these debate topics, and like I have to argue the side that I don't really feel passionately about, but this one actually worked out well because Liquid likes stealth and I hate stealth, so this is going to be a good debate that we can actually passionately talk about our actual opinions and views on. So as per usual, we have a punishment for the loser. The loser will have to appear in stealth mode during next week's show. That's gonna be interesting, and I don't even know exactly what we're gonna do for it, but it should be interesting. We're gonna try and figure that out over the course of next week, but it'll be entertaining nevertheless, at least for the VOD. So if you don't tune in live or watch the VOD, I definitely encourage you to next week to see what that'll be like for at least our news segment. Okay, so defending this statement is gonna be Liquid. He's gonna say that stealth is healthy for the game, and I'm gonna be rebuking it. At the end of the debate, and for the next couple of days, you can vote on straw poll on who the winner is, and we leave that up to you guys. So the format of our debate is the same as it's always been. The defender, so that's Liquid, has 2 minutes to make his opening statement. That'll be followed by 3 minutes of rebuttal on my part, the rebuker. The defender will come back with 1 more minute of rebuttal. The moderator, which will be Mystic today, will ask a question of the rebuker, which would be me. I have 1 minute for response. He'll then ask 1 question to Liquid, who will also have 1 minute for response. And I will have 2 minutes for my closing statement, followed by where we started with Liquid having 2 minutes for his closing statement as well. Each participant gets 1 audible, where they can interrupt the other person mid-argument for a 15-second statement. So, that being said, Mystic, as our convener, do you want to get things started?
All right, let's see. Let me get this timer ready here.
Yeah, I like how you're like playing it up because I'm actually the one who controls the timer since I'm handling the stream. But thanks for creating the illusion, and I guess sorry for wrecking it.
Hey. All right, I'll get a timer too, just for more realism.
Wait. Before we start, can I ask Mystic? Are those new curtains?
They are new curtains.
Okay.
The other ones were right, so I thought I would maybe get some dark ones.
I like them.
Yeah, nice done. Okay, so Mystic, let us know when we're starting the timer.
All right, we'll start in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so stealth as a mechanic has been in the game since the beginning. The launch trailer with Nova, like you had to have stealth in the game. You had Nova popping out of stealth and dropping a nuke on Diablo. I mean, come on. Like, for real, stealth has to be in the game. That's just a given. Now, the idea that stealth is bad for the game, that's just crazy to me. That's like saying stuns are bad for the game, or support is bad for the game, or respawns are bad for the game. Like, these are solid game mechanics that work out quite well. And if you look at what Blizzard's done with stealth, they actually handled it quite nicely, in my opinion. They could have made it true stealth, where you can't see a shimmer, where there is nothing. If you play World of Warcraft and a rogue is stealth, you can't see a shimmer. You don't know that rogue is there till you get stabbed in the back. That's stealth. This is hot stealth. And in hot stealth, there's a shimmer. And you have a chance of taking that person out of stealth so that you can attack them. The one exception being Valeera. For 1 second after she vanishes, which I don't think is over. You know, I think that's valid. Like, she vanished. She should have that ability. She had to use an ability. She should get a second's protection from you taking her out. So I think the idea that stealth as a mechanic is bad for the game or not healthy for the game, that's just crazy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You can see the shimmer. You just have to spend some time working on seeing the shimmer so that you understand, hey, there's a stealthy there. I should throw an attack there, whether it's a Rainer Q or a valid W or anything. Just throw an ability that way, pull them out of stealth, and then boom, guess what? They no longer have the advantage. But if you're not watching for that stealth shimmer, that's not good, my friend, and you're about to die. So, watch for the shimmer. It's like any other mechanic in the game. Next thing you know, Daz will want to pull stuns out of it.
And stop.
All right.
All right, Daz, you have 3 minutes for the rebuttal. 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, first I'd like to thank Liquid for basically throwing it because he does have absolutely no argument there at all. So remember, this is a debate where you might not have to believe on either side, but it's about debating prowess as well. So I want to start off by saying that I'm not arguing that stealth is OP. I actually think stealth is very balanced. The problem with stealth is, and the thing that we're debating today is whether or not it's healthy for the game. And my argument is that it is not. But before we can debate that, we should actually talk a little bit about what a healthy game entails. Now, a healthy game, in my mind, is a game where most of the people participating in the game are having a good time. Net positive fun, let's put it that way. And I think that stealth as a mechanic makes net negative fun in the game. Blizzard, over the past couple decades, has really perfected the science of fun. They've refined this game over time, and they've taken out a lot of unfun mechanics, and they've responded to community feedback on those. There was the whole stun meta where you had no control, you just get stun, 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 dead. There's the shield meta that they've recently kind of changed as well, and more recently than that, the Valeera nerf. Surprise, surprise, people didn't like Valeera in Quick Match. They said she's not fun to play against. She's not a healthy character to have in the game. So Blizzard went and they nerfed her down a little bit to the point where she's a bit more bearable. But my point is that having a stealth character in the game leads to a very unfun environment. What happens is, like, for instance, Nova as well, or Valeera, Zeratul, anyone who's a stealth mechanic, you've got to play on the edge. You got to sit back in lane. You always have to be nervous that they're there. You can't know where the obvious angle of attack is going to come from with what you typically get with fog of war and bushes. You can know from that area that you've got vision on where the most likely area of attack is. So basically, having that kind of queasiness and that unsettling feeling is what I think is the biggest problem. And to highlight this, I've got a little tick marks here that I think that this.
Wait, audible. Wait, no. Wait, I'm not. This isn't even audible. So you can't add your own points to the debate, man. You guys, that's not fair. That is an unfair advantage, and that needs to come down.
Okay, I want to say that you just bear with me for 1 second before striking this from the record.
It's all breaking down now.
We don't need to use aids. It's a debate.
This is for entertainment purposes, and you'll see why in a second. Stealth leads to an elevated in-game queasiness and irritating and unnecessary depression, or in short, Liquid. Liquiud. So this queasiness makes the game unfun. And you know what, to be honest with you, I'd prefer a game where you didn't have this queasiness, this stepping on eggshells that you've got to play with. And you know what? I'm not saying this is a game where you shouldn't be stressed out or nervous. This is a heroes brawler, right? A MOBA. It's not like Sunshines and Unicorns. It's not Heroes of Hugs, right? But still, like, just having that unknown element where someone can jump out of you out of nowhere, not very easily counterable, and you've got to like run back to the court with a sliver of health, not knowing if Nova's. You can't hearth back without fear of potentially getting blown up is always a concern and very unfun.
All right.
Okay.
I just would like to point out before my time starts that I feel like I'm at a disadvantage now because I can't prepare slides to take people through things like apparently Daz can because he's the host of the show.
I was worried you might take a. That was more just for humor about.
It was still amusing, but I'm just throwing that out there.
It's the rebuker advantage.
No, I think that's just the host's.
Very true. So if you were watching, check out the VOD. I put up a little slide there to illustrate a point, which Liquid probably hopes you don't get to see because he thinks it's an unfair advantage.
All right, Liquid. You have 1 minute to maybe take down this abuse of power a little bit.
Yep, I'm
All
good.
right.
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, my friend, I'm going to make a couple of quick points because I reserved them for this period so I could see which direction you want to take the debate. I didn't throw a debate. I used my brains. All right, there are 4 characters right now that use stealth. Nova, Samuro, Valeera, and Zeratul. All perfectly balanced characters. In addition to that, Hammer's got stealth. Vikings have stealth. Tyranda's got stealth. Your girl Tyranda's got stealth, man. The Haka's got stealth. Greymane's got stealth. Medivh's got stealth. Murky's got the ability to do some stealthy type shit. Like, come on. Even Tassadar with his E getting out of stuff, he goes stealth to do those things. You can't tell me stealth is not healthy because these, assassins are going to get you. You know why they changed stun so much? They changed stun, like they removed it from Varian, his charge. This is a negative thing in our game. We need to pull it out. They haven't removed stealth yet. No. Because stealth is not that unhealthy. And you know what? You should always be prepared for someone to jump out of nowhere and gank you. We can go back 2 Chair League seasons, and I'll show you a team that learned that the hard way.
Okay, Mystic, time to ask a question. You just ask me when to start.
All right, Daz. Your question here is, so with all those points that you brought up about stealth, my question for you is, do you feel like there is enough counterplay to the stealth mechanics, and is it balanced? Like, is it enough? Is it not enough for that? All right, ready, set, go.
Okay, well, I definitely think stealth is a balanced mechanic, and that isn't what we're arguing. There's counterplay, there's Tastar Oracle, there's different ways you can get vision of your stealthies. What I think is that stealthiness leads to unfun game mechanics just by being present in the game. There are certain elements of stealth, and I don't think you can truly say that Tastar, phase whatever he phases out, can count as a stealth mechanic, Liquid. I think we're talking about heroes that primarily stay in stealth mode. The fact that you can't get vision on them coming up close to and personal to you to like finish you off or whatever is always just, it makes you feel uneasy. Maybe I'll save it for later, but like when you're getting into rank play, for instance, and you see like a Nova pop up in your draft, no one's happy. You're not happy if they're on your team. You're not happy if they're on the other team, right? That's a stealth character and one that no one likes to have around because of what she brings to the game.
And
Audible.
You used your audible.
No. I was complaining about what you did. That was not my audible. That was a flag, sir. That was a flag. Even Twitch chat called that a flag. All right. I want to just audible that for a minute. In ranked play, when Nova comes up, the team's not upset because Nova has stealth. The team's upset because there's so many crappy Novas out there. They're like, oh, God, this kid's going to throw the game. It has nothing to do with stealth, sir. Nothing to do with stealth.
I'm gonna audible your audible.
Okay.
Nova's kit is all about her stealth, and one of the big reasons that stealth, and a lot of stealth characters have that ability so they can roam around from lane to lane and gank people and get those picks. And I think that's pretty much part of her kit and the reason that she is the way that she is.
Can I audible the audible of the audible?
No, you're out of audibles. You've used your flag and your audible, sir.
All right, Mystic, what's your question?
All right, Liquid. Your question is basically the same thing that I asked Daz here. So with stealth being in the game, do you think that there is enough counterplay to stealth, and is that counterplay balanced for the stealth users? All right, ready, set, go.
Okay. So I do think it's balanced for the stealth users. What I would say, or balanced actually across the board, rather. what I would say is that Blizzard buffed scouting drone. They changed who could get scouting drones. They gave it to Cho'Gall. They did a lot of things to make it so that people who felt like they were victims of stealth had simple ways to reveal stealth characters. And I think they did a good job of balancing that. While I think Daz may be onto something where he says, you feel a certain way while a stealthy is in the game with you, I would counter that and say, well, you should always be prepared for that to happen, whether there's a stealthy or not. If you don't have vision on something that you're walking near, a bush, you're probably going to get ganked. And the same is true for a stealthy. I understand that they're not in a bush, so it can happen to you while walking around. Pair up with people that have scouting drones. Pair up with people that have reveals. Or at the end of the day, you need to be looking for that shimmer and throwing your abilities out there. That's how Blizzard balanced it.
There we go. All right. Let's see here. Now we have Daz with 2 minutes for a closing statement. Are you ready, Daz?
Sure am.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
So I like to refer to a slide. No, just kidding. So what we really need to look at here is how having a stealth character in your game makes your gameplay experience. Liqiud was saying, like, yeah, okay, you can do this and this to counter, you hang out with the guy with the scouting drone, you can do this and that to counter it. But the fact is that you got to do that. And isn't it damn annoying when you got to do that? I feel like the other kind of analogy to this, which, I mean, there can be an argument made either way, is something like a mosh pit. You got mosh pit as like you get ET coming in and you're like, everyone's like, oh crap, we gotta be able to counter the mosh pit. And everyone on the other team always hates playing against, say, an ETC with a mosh pit, especially if you don't have any counters to it. It just, you always have to play on eggshells. You gotta wait around, you gotta dance around until ETC uses his mosh. Very similar with the stealth too. It makes you change the way you play. And the fact is that it makes you play in a much less fun way. You can't engage in lane. You're running away. When you got away with that slip route, you're feeling so good. You're like, I got away. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Nova pops you. Like, at least if, Genji has a lot of mobility too. He's not stealth, but at least you can kind of see him coming because he should be within range of where you can see. Or if he's coming out of the fog of war, at least you know that fog of war could potentially be hiding heroes. With stealth heroes, they're hiding in plain sight. And that's the big problem I have. Yes, they have a shimmer. Yes, if you're great, you can see that shimmer. But realistically, especially in most levels of play, you're not going to be able to catch that shimmer come out unless you're lucky, especially in a team fight situation where you're running away. So, you know what? Ask yourself this. Would this game be better if you just deleted Nova, deleted Samuro, deleted Zeratul from the game? And my answer to that would be yes. I think the game would be much more enjoyable. There'd be less walking on eggshells. And personally, I'd throw up my hands a lot less in those drafts where there are stealthies on either side, being like, great, now we got to deal with that. And dealing with that is something that I don't want to do.
And stop. All right, now, Liqiud, you have 2 minutes for your closing statement. Are you ready?
I made the mic drop on this show. Don't try and mic drop me. Yeah, I'm good. Let's do this.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Yes, I can understand how players might be annoyed at having to deal with looking for the shimmer. But I would counter that and point out that my wife, the second day playing the game, saw the shimmer and said, hey, what's that? And I explained, oh, that's the shimmer of the stealthy. Throw something at that and knock them out of stealth and they lose their advantage. And she said, cool. And she's been doing that since then. The other thing I would point out is, all right, you can say that, well, yeah, when you're running away from a bush, maybe they'll get you, maybe they won't. You expect maybe somebody to be in the bush, but you can't see a stealthy. Sure, I could almost understand that, but the same is true of a stun. Tyrande can hit you with her Q or her stun. Yeah, I think that's on Q. Whatever key it's on. I don't play Tyrande. I don't like her personally. And from range, she might throw an owl at you. Remember the owl shooting at you? The owl might hit you from nowhere. You can't dodge that. Just boom, you're dead. There's a lot of different ways that people can kill you from range. Azmodan can dunk you from half the map away, man. Did you see that coming? No, probably not. But if Azmodan's on the other team, you got to know that's coming, and you got to do the ziggy-zaggy to get away from that stuff. Chromie can hit you from way far away. Like, there's a million different ways that people can kill you without you knowing it's coming. Stealth is not the worst of them. I would put forward the Azmodan dunking you from the half the map away is worse than stealth. At least with stealth, you're expecting it. Were you really counting the seconds until Azmodan's dunk came out of nowhere and hit you? Probably not. But my point is, stealth itself is not the problem. The problem is understanding that at any moment you can be attacked. And yes, I can understand that maybe you want a more laid-back game where you don't have to worry that any moment you can be attacked. But in Heroes of the Storm, especially at higher level play, you can be attacked at any moment, at any time, anywhere.
Okay, so as much as I'd like to rebut that, and it's funny because when you get a topic you're more passionate about the side you're arguing, you want to keep going. But unfortunately, we have to stop at this point. Be it fair, be it not fair. If you think that I had an advantage by throwing up the slide, you know what? Maybe it's your vote. You guys get to decide. I'm throwing the straw poll link up in chat now. Feel free to pop in there. Toss on who you think you won the debate. We'll also toss this up on Reddit probably tomorrow or tonight, so people can get their votes in, and we'll freeze those votes within the next couple of days. The loser will have to appear in stealth mode during next week's show, and we had some interesting suggestions on how we could pull that off in our chat as well. So it'll be interesting no matter what we end up doing there.